This is Timothy Barr from MLW. Make sure you give a listen to one of the greatest podcasts in the world, True Heel Heat.
Oye, te habla tío Sabio Vega. This is Sabio Vega and you watching True Heel Hit a mi manera o pa' la calle.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Rated Raw Review number 24, the luckiest girl in the world, reviewing the July 1st, 2024 edition of WWE Monday Night Raw as only we can. And this week, I am once again not joined by Romeo. He keeps leaving me as he's on the apron. He just hops off, and I'm left to fend for myself. But this time, I got two special guests to fill in the very big shoes of Mr. Romeo Anthony Colon and two of my favorite people that I haven't been on camera with in quite some time. One, first up, we saw him on our Forbidden Door watch along, and he is in your mentions as the next president of the United States of America, the one and only Chase Oliver.
Look, guys, if you're sick of Trump, you're sick of Biden, just vote for me. And you guys will have a new president. And trust me, I'll make sure all your things will come true. I'll legalize everything.
This is what I'm here for. You said legalize everything? That's
everything.
What I'm here for.
I don't care. Everything's legal now.
We just got to get him in like a transformation chamber to the age of 35, and we're good to go for the United States for the next 4 years. If you saw the debate, you know we're better off with Chase. But we also got here with us today one of my favorite writers and my former arch nemesis when it comes to wrestling trivia. You see his work at Fightful, as well as a couple of other sites all around the world. He is the one and only Robert DeFelice. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm so excited to be here with you and the next president of the United States. Sir, it's an honor. I can't wait to vote for you. I'm so excited. I'll see you in 4 years.
Yes, sir.
We got to just do it. We got to just do it, everybody. We all the followers. We got 16,000 subscribers here on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. We got me and Robert. I think that's enough to at least get him as a write-in. We can get him as the write-in.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's do
and
it.
The vote, and it'll be so genuine from the heart, too.
My name trended over Anthony Edwards one night. That should show the star power my name has.
Hey, the next NBA MVP, the next president of the United States.
I love it.
It's like who's more popular. But we are not here to talk about the president election or the debate. Trust me, there's enough content for that for days. We're here to talk about Monday Night Raw, the go-home edition ahead of WWE Money in the Bank this Saturday in Toronto, Ontario. WWE was in Boston, the TD Garden. So we appreciate you for joining us live. We appreciate you if you're watching us on demand. Either way, show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Help the YouTube algorithms by dropping the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here, because I'm going to be on your YouTube screens a whole lot this week. We got a Money in the Bank preview. We got an NXT Heatwave preview. We got reviews for both shows, watch-alongs as well. So stay locked here. And of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, you can drop a thumbs up, a heart, a laugh, an angry emoji, however Monday Night Raw made you feel this week. Drop a heart if you're watching us on Twitter. You can share those, retweet those on those platforms. But if you're watching on any platform, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys and highlight as many of your comments as possible. But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what you do here and show the best way to show support here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, send a super chat donation. Those are always appreciated here. But we also got in the live chat already, Vala B, the main man, who says, wow, haven't seen Robert in a long time. Thanks to, our good friend Kev Kellum, because I was like, man, he's absolutely right. I haven't had Robert on here in too long. It's been too long, sir.
Yeah, Kevin's the man. Honestly, I haven't done a lot of these in a long time, and it's super cool to be here, and we got a good episode of Raw to talk about too.
Absolutely. WWE's on a good streak. I wouldn't say this one was as good as the past 2 weeks, but that's because they set the bar too high for my blood. And plus, they put Karrion Kross in the first hour. Sorry, I just felt like going to sleep. But we're talking about that as well as all the matches on this episode of a very good Raw, like Robert said. We also got Vala B, who says, "Give me citizenship and I'll vote for you."
I got you.
See?
Got you.
There we go. He's gonna get him his government papers. Put some money under the table. And Our good brother here hasn't been here for a couple of days. We missed you, Will Chisholm, yesterday with the Forbidden Door review, but he's here dropping our first super chat donation. Thank you so much, Will. And he says, I love how Punk and Drew drama is two petty people who just don't learn. If this was the hood, someone will get shot. Absolutely.
Anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation. So, anything can and will happen.
Hey, we've seen it before. Brian Pillman, Steve Austin. Yeah. It can happen with Punk and Drew McIntyre. Drew's going to not going to pull up with a gun. He's going to pull up with the sword.
Sword right through the door. Larry chasing him out of the house.
I was going to say you hear AJ scream, but yeah, Larry running out.
AJ, in keeping with her character, she might be the one to grab the gun at the end of the day and chase him out the house. That'd be a hell of a way to bring her back to TV.
AJ's from New Jersey, and Chase has a lot of friends in New Jersey. You know how they go.
Yeah, I could see AJ actually doing that.
I love it. We just booked the next chapter of this Punk Drew drama, but we're gonna talk about that. Drew McIntyre was in the main event on this show, but we'll start off from the beginning as Monday Night Raw, like I said before, was from Boston, Massachusetts. Start with you, Chase. What did you think about the crowd last night in Beantown?
I hate giving Boston fans any credit, but I thought they were great. There were some matches last night where I was like, did I miss like 10 minutes of it? Because this feels like it was a great match, even though it was just the crowd elevating the match with the reactions and stuff. I thought they were great. Absolutely phenomenal.
What about you, Robert?
Yeah, I think the most fun I had here was the war between WWE and AEW has just extended to New York versus Boston, because we had some chance of F the Celtics. We had some chance of let's go Celtics. The green confetti was just falling from the ceiling for no reason whatsoever. Boston brought the energy. I really enjoyed the crowd.
And we had a woman star after, New York turned on Mercedes, like mid-match. They realized it was like, oh, wait, she's from Boston. Let's boo her. And then this crowd realized, oh, Zelina's from New York. Let's boo her. So I love that. got back-to-back nights of that happening. That was very funny. But the show kicked off with the energy of the crowd because Mr. Jey Uso was here to kick things off, doing his entrance through the crowd, which always looks great. He comes to the ring and he's talking all about this Saturday's Money in the Bank ladder match. He promises to win the Yeet in the Bank briefcase and on Saturday, but he is interrupted by one of his opponents on Saturday. Mr. Chad Gable is interrupting here, and he gets straight to the point. He says yeet is not a word. It actually is. It got added to the dictionary, Chad. You're not doing well as a teacher. I'm sorry. He says he is a walking miracle after surviving both the Wyatts and his family leaving him before qualifying for the Money in the Bank ladder match by defeating two monsters. Uso thinks that Gable is scared of the Wyatts, but Gable says that Uso is the one who took their Fireflies, so he should have problems with the Wyatts. Uso said they can have the Fireflies. I'll take the mosquitoes. I'll take the roaches. He's like, I don't want no smoke with them. You're the one that has smoke with them. And your family didn't leave you. They just did what I did, and they were sick of being next to a manipulative person like Chad Gable. This leads to the fight getting on as Gable throws the first punch, but Uso gets the better of it, fighting back with his nice rock-like offense with a spit-to-the-hand punch, a super kick, and Gable rolls out of the ring before Uso can hit the Uso splash. Gable yells at him and says, "You think I'm just going to lay there while you splash me?" But the lights are then cut off. The Fireflies are out. The smoke fills up the ring, and Jey Uso disappears. I was like, what the hell? How did you get out of there so fast? Gable is scared shitless. He's probably peeing in his pants a little bit as he runs off. He goes through the crowd, slowly making his way through the crowd and back by the entranceway, but he runs into the Wyatt Six. We see a silhouette of Huskus the Pig, aka Joe Gacy. We see a silhouette of Mercy the Buzzard and Ramblin' Rabbit. And Gable is all scared to the point that he has to run up the stands to get away from them. And then finally, we see Abby the Witch, a.k.a. Nikki Cross. She shows up by the commentary table. Once again, this security ain't shit. The security fell asleep again. I don't know what's going on with this smoke, but it must be a sleeping gas because the security is all asleep all over the commentary table as Abby the Witch has another gift for Michael Cole, and it is yet another VHS, and it says "Play Me," and we would get that played later on in the night. This was a nice little opening, continuing the whole story going on with the Wyatt Six and Chad Gable, which we would get an explanation of why they are targeting Chad Gable later when we played the VHS, but we'll get to that. Robert, what did you think about this opening segment here?
And I think the segment was very good. It's nice to see Chad staying in this top position since he re-signed with the company. It makes a lot of sense that, Uso and Chad would be fighting here. First of all, Yeet in the Bank is terrible. I don't know who said that is so funny. I've never seen a company like WWE that can just take something great and just throw it in the ground and shovel 6,000 pounds of dirt on it. But, Gable, he's right. I'm not going to sit here and just let you splash me. Unfortunately for him, the Wyatt Six comes out, and like every, too brave for their own good white person in a horror movie just stands there and is like, I think I can take this. No, wait, just kidding. I don't know why they're not going after Uso, but Uso is smart, said, I don't want your Fireflies. Yeet, not heat. Chad can have all that. The VHS stuff, it's a little hokey, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I wish they would like further develop. Like they go from VHS to like a MP3, a MP4, and then they give like a DVD. They should progress by like how technology has worked each and every week.
Also, why did this take like an hour and a half to load up?
Yo, I was like last week it took like 30 minutes. Why did it take longer? How did you not have the same stuff that you had to play the tape so fast last week, this week? Like, what are we doing, WWE?
The reality is they're gaslighting.
I had to wait around for an hour and a half. I wanted to go to sleep. I was like, I just wanted to see the video.
They're gaslighting children on VHS technology because, first of all, you don't need 2 VHS tapes for like what was in total maybe a 20-minute conversation.
Exactly.
Just because you put the VHS tape in doesn't mean your current day logo graphics are going to start being distorted. I don't know why. I don't know. Are they converting it to some playable file on today's media? I don't know why it takes 90 minutes to load up, but they're gaslighting children on VHS media, and I will not sit here and take this.
Hey, as someone who still has my VHS of The Lion King, I will not take this disrespect either. Chase, what did you think about this opening segment? Wyatt 6, Chad Gable, and Jey Uso.
This wasn't the way I would have opened Raw. I did not feel this opening. I'm a big fan of the Wyatt 6. I'll be honest with this. Like I don't have that much hope and praise that a lot of people do with this. So I knew this was supposed to fill in for the, when the WWE does that goopy thing where everyone sits on the ladder and they say, this is why I win Money in the Bank. This was to fill in with that. So we had Yeet in the Bank and Master in the Bank. They decided to have a nice little promo segment. And, Jey Uso, I like him, just not the best promo. It's like he has a filler word of saying yeet every 5 seconds. Gable did fine. Then the Wyatt 6 stuff happened. And I said, all right, oogly boogly. Cool. What's this leading to? Oh, another VHS tape. Wow. And like you, why did it take an hour and a half? Last week, it took 30 minutes. It took an hour and a half just to play a VHS tape. That felt shorter than last week's promo. So, I was not a big fan of this opening segment. I was just like, okay, I felt you could have done some Judgment Day stuff. I felt that would have been a much better than this. But you got to get these Money in the Bank guys on the card somehow to hype up the big ladder match.
I think that it's probably they recorded something else on the other tape, so they had to take the tape out and then put the tape back in for the rest of it. I'm just trying to fill in the blank, fill out the logic.
They filmed over the episode of Family Guy that I recorded last night. Got it? Okay, when I was a kid.
Yep.
But logically, like if a spooky group, let's call it what it is. They're terrorizing the show. These are a spooky group of terrorists. Says, here's a VHS tape.
Yeah.
Are you going to wait 90 minutes before seeing what the hell is on this tape? Do we show the people, at least show the production truck debating
freaking out.
What's on this tape? Can we show the public this tape? What is this message? There's just little things you can do to fill in the gaps, and they've done great with production changes since Kevin Dunn and Vince departed, but they could still fill in the gaps a little bit more.
I agree with you. They could have gave us like some reason why it took so long this week in comparison to last week, but hey, they had to string me along because I was not going to go to sleep until I saw what was on the VHS. So at least they got me with the opening segment. They gave me a hook to stay into the show because I was really debating after I saw what the opening match was of going to sleep. Right then and there, I was like, I don't know if I can make it to see the VHS, but we got another super chat donation here from Will Chisholm. Once again, thank you, Will. He says, nice touch of Jay look triggered when Chad said, you turn your back on your family. And I like because it does correlate with, I wish that Chad would have brought up the fact that, your wise man got beat up on Friday to kind of connect the tissue and to slowly bring Jay back into the main bloodline story, which I think we all know that's eventually what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we also got here Chris, who says Nikki Cross creeps me out. I think she's the best one so far of the Wyatt 6 outside of like the tapes, and I think Bo Dallas has been doing great, but I think Nikki Cross, as far as the presentation of the spookily boogily, she's the best at it.
I think Nikki Cross is also the most adept to this because she was already just a ghost walking around backstage with an empty look. Now they just gave her the mask to go with it, and it is a great presentation for her.
Facts. But finishing off with Gable, we did see him later on in the show as he tried to talk to good old Otis. And man, Otis, can I get a plate? Can I get a plate of this catering? Like, damn, dog. He had some good ass plate. He had a nice sandwich. He half eaten. That chicken looked some popping. He got a nice little baked potato with the cheese coming out of it. But Chad Gable comes up. He tries to talk to Otis into coming back into the fold, saying that, you know, the Wyatts are after him and I know you hate me. And Otis actually reveals that he doesn't hate him, but, you know, all of this is on him and he needs to handle it himself. But then Chad tries to convince him, saying that they might be, you know, the Wyatts are after him right now, but what's next? They could go after Tozawa, Maxine, even you. And if that happens, I'll be there for you because you're still my number one guy. So I like the fact that they are still progressing this story, even though I really felt 2 weeks ago they should have just had Otis slam him to kind of put the explanation point, because it feels like we have missed the peak of this Otis Chad story right now. Even though, like, I agree with Robert, they're still keeping him in somewhat of a top position because he has a big match on Saturday. I feel like we've missed the peak of where it would have got the biggest reaction possible, and it was just a shove. What do you think, Chase?
Yeah, no. First of all, I love that Otis, before he was going to leave 2 plates behind. That's how much he's despised as Chad Gable. He was going to leave 2 full plates of catering behind. My friends, they have a joke. One of my wrestling friends groups, they have a joke. They're like, man, all the catering people must hate Otis. And after seeing that plate, they're like, see what this guy does? He took 2 plates. This is not fair. Yeah, they really missed the boat on Otis being like super over with this Chad Gable. Like, I don't know why they put Chad Gable in this feud is with the Wyatt Six. Like, why he's the filler guy. Like, I don't know. It was just such a random person to put in there, and it stopped all the momentum. And I just feel like the Creeds, they're just kind of like waiting for Chad to accept them. To every week, it's just like every week they go, yo, Chad, you need help? Chad, come on, bro. We got your back. And Chad's like, I just need friends. It's like, yeah, they're right there. Why don't you have these guys help you out? Why are you still going to Otis? The Creeds are trying to get to you every week. Like, what's wrong with this? And so I don't know what they're doing with it, but yeah, no, it's I like Otis. I hope Otis still does this thing as a mid-carder. So yeah.
You know, Otis is, it seems for a minute like they were building towards Chad Gable wins IC title, Otis beats Chad Gable. But now it seems like they're going for Wyatt's attack Chad for manipulating family feelings, and that eventually leads them back around to the bloodline because there's a lot there. It feels like Chad is an easy win for Uncle Howdy, but it also seems like just everybody on Monday Night Raw and maybe SmackDown too, they're just terrible, gaslighting, manipulative people. This man is trying to enjoy a nice boar's head sandwich with his donut on the side. He's got another plate that's completely a different separate meal. He's trying to eat his feelings. We've all been there. And here comes this manipulative man who, to Chase's point, has very capable people who understand family because they're brothers, being like, yo, Chad, hey, we've been exactly where you are. We're amateur wrestlers, we know where you are, we got this. And he's like, no, I can't manipulate you guys, you're a little smarter than what I need right now, so I'm gonna keep working on this guy even though he just wants to be left alone. Everybody on Raw is terrible is what I'm saying. That's what this boils down to. But yeah, hopefully within a couple weeks we do see the Creeds with Chad Gable, because that's what I think everybody wants to see, and Otis gets to just eat his food. You know, he just wants to eat his food. Leave the man alone.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. Just let him eat his feelings. Like, damn, get out of his face. We got Will in the chat. Thank you so much. Another super chat donation. He says, I do believe that Bo and Bray do keep VHS tapes. They are around our age. LOL. That is true. That is true. They probably are using like a camcorder to record all of this. So, hey, I appreciate the hustle. And we got another one from Karthik, who drops a super chat donation. Thank you so much. He says, love the build to Sami, Bron, and 6-man tag. Seth and Priest is a nice matchmaking with unpredictability. Men's Money in the Bank has a lot of moving parts. Good build, in my opinion. I do agree. The build to Money in the Bank in a short amount of time has been pretty solid. I just felt like this didn't all feel like a go-home show. Like no. I feel like we got a little bit with the Chad and Jey Uso, but it felt like the focus of the opening segment overall was about the Wyatt Six, and then Chad seemed more concerned with convincing Otis than focusing on Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody is so just like, I'm going to take my eye off the prize, which will get me a guaranteed championship match because, I just want to continue my petty thing. That seems to be just the theme. A lot of pettiness, a lot of gaslighting in WWE right now. They should really work on this. Maybe we just
turning on families.
Maybe we just hire Dr. Shelby for like a weekly segment of just dealing with these individuals' trauma because what's going on right now in WWE is ridiculous.
Agreed. But speaking of Gable and Jey Uso, after their Money in the Bank ladder match next Monday, they have a one-on-one matchup that was announced later in the show. But speaking of one-on-one matchups, we had our opening match, which was the New Day's Xavier Woods going one-on-one with the leader of the Final Testament, Karrion Kross. Now, I know that Triple H and Tony Khan watch this channel because I say stuff too often and they turn around and do stuff like this. I said last week, I was like, big mistake putting Karrion Kross in the third hour because I turned off my TV once they said Karrion Kross was next. I think it's worse to put him in the first hour at the first match of the show. This crowd was hot as hell for that opening segment. You could have heard a pin drop in the middle of this matchup here. But hey, they got into the post-match at least. But a pretty good effort from both guys here. This went about 7.5 minutes with a commercial in between. So we only saw about 4 minutes of this matchup. Karrion Kross really dominated most of the matchup until Xavier Woods was able to catch him with a surprise small package for the victory. Post-match, we had Kofi Kingston basically making fun of Karrion Kross, which led to Authors of Pain coming into the ring to attack the New Day. They took Woods to the outside as Karrion Kross worked and did the London Dungeon, the old submission finisher of Nigel McGuinness on Kofi Kingston, injuring his arm as Xavier Woods came in to check on Kofi as Final Testament stood over him and Karrion told Xavier to shake my hand. What did you guys think of this one? If you couldn't tell by my sarcastic tone, I'm into the story that's going on here. I'm not too much into the wrestling part of it. I think Karrion Kross is my WWE version of Chris Jericho. I would much rather you just talk all the time and not wrestle. I would appreciate that so much. Robert?
Look, I'll be honest. I don't know if I like the in-ring, but as far as presentation and package, I think Kross and the Final Testament are something that if you put them in any era, they look like a main event act. But then when they get in the ring, the crowd just isn't there. The action is a little plodding. Good for Woods getting a victory. I'm glad he gets a win. But where is this story going, right? Kross says, I've beaten 7 world champions. All right, does that mean should we be preparing for a Karrion Kross world title run? I don't think WWE is headed in that direction at all. I don't know where they're going. New Day as a whole feels like it's treading water ever since it's just been kind of widely accepted. Correct me if I'm wrong for either review, but that Big E's just comfortable where he is right now and may never return.
100%.
It just seems like they're treading water, and I still want to see Woods get a world title. I still want to see Woods get an Intercontinental title, but I don't know if this feud is the way to get there.
Agreed. Chase, what did you think about Kross and Woods?
It was very forgettable. I won't remember this match for many moons. Karrion Kross, I feel Triple H is still trying to rebuild this guy. Adam Cole tore him down with that famous promo that I see every other week on Twitter or X. And then Vince ruined him with the Spartan helmet when he debuted on Raw. And we all know Triple H loves this guy. Like, he was forcing him on NXT when Triple H was still booking. And I get it. You really want the guy just doesn't have it in the ring. He does not know how to carry a match. He's not like, I don't know what Karrion Kross is missing. Like, he was fine before he got to WWE. Like, when he was on TNA, I remember he had a decent match with Brian Cage at one point in TNA Impact Wrestling back in the day. Someone, Frantic World, said he was better in AAA. Exactly, good in AAA. Why is it that he has not? I I don't get it. But his matches, like you say, SP3, they're almost like you see them. This would have been a perfect match if it was Monday Night Football season. All right, let me go check what the game's doing and stuff. Like the game should have started by now. Like go to that. Karrion Kross, he just has that aura, that negative aura where it's just like describe someone with no aura. That's Karrion Kross in the ring. Outside the ring, talking, doing the Final Testament stuff, fine. But in the ring, something's missing. And ever since that Adam Cole promo, it's just hit. Like, yeah, this guy just stinks in the ring. We don't get it. Like, he's like maybe as a lower card guy that Batista beats up on a SmackDown because he has to go face Mark Henry at Great American Bash 05, sure. But not like as your guy that you're trying to build up. Like, especially, like, I'm not paying money to see Gunther and Karrion Kross. Like, oh.
No one is.
Karrion Kross might be the final, just like character burial of the Vince McMahon era. That I don't think he comes back from the helmet and all that because it was just over. And I think people just look and they see that and it's over.
Yeah, and it's like Jay said, it's the double whammy of you're on a good streak, an undefeated streak on NXT. You're the world champion twice over, and then Adam Cole cuts you down and exposes you, and then Vince says, "I'm gonna completely destroy this now." Like it was a month span that all of that happened. Like, and it was over. It's been over since then, pretty much. I agree. We got another super chat donation here from Will Chisholm. Thank you. He says, "Sorry, Chase. The Creeds told Chad, we help you after our Bloodsport match." Yeah, it should be mentioned. The Creeds were announced to appear at Bloodsport in Brooklyn, New York on July 29th. That should be very interesting. I think those are two guys that would adapt very well to the Bloodsport. Even Chad Gable, I would love to see him if he ever decided to do some Bloodsport. Were y'all guys surprised to see the Creeds announced for that?
Very, very surprised. They're young dudes, and it's still weird to see WWE's working with indie companies. It's so cool to see it. It's a great opportunity for them.
Yeah, Julius Creed at one point before he went to WWE, he was looking at going to the Olympics and trying out for UFC. So this fits for Julius. I'm more excited for Brutus. Like we all know Julius can cook. I want to see Brutus like in this Bloodsport element because Julius Creed, he's the favorite one of the Creed brothers. We all know he can kind of go in the ring, but I want to see Brutus in this thing, man. I want to see him do this. So I'm excited to see him more than Julius, to be honest.
Holy shit, this is a good analogy here. Big Man Dog says, "I'm off the anti-cross bandwagon. He is the evil of WWE. Final Testament is House of Torture."
It's House of Torture. Yes. That's you might be onto something. That is exactly where we are.
That is so good. That is so right. Oh my God, it just feels right. Damian Priest was backstage next up talking to Dominik Mysterio, asking him if he's going to deal with the Liv Morgan stuff and asking him if he's talked to Rhea Ripley. And Dom gives him the usual answer of, yeah, me and Rhea, we're fine. He was like, "No, you're not. I actually just talked to Rhea Ripley and she isn't happy. It's time to deal with Morgan." And Dom basically says under his breath, he's like, "Damn, I will. You sound like my dad." He was like, "What you said?" And he was like, nothing. So they go into the clubhouse, and for some reason, Liv Morgan is hanging out with the rest of the Judgment Day. She quickly departs when she sees Priest coming in, saying that her match is next, and she wanted to wish Daddy Dom some luck in his match, leaving Finn Balor to basically yell at Damian Priest for not trusting anyone and for putting his spot in the Judgment Day on the line at Money in the Bank. My daughter's trying to come here and hear it because she's upset. You want to say hi?
Hi.
I'm crying.
I'm not even crying.
I love how she said that.
This is essentially Dominik Mysterio whenever he has to deal with anything.
Yeah,
from his dad
exactly.
to Priest to Rhea. Look, here's the thing. Look, guys, let's tell the truth here. Why would Rhea be mad at Dom in any way? Are you watching the show? Are you watching the television program?
Yeah.
He's very clearly running away from this woman. Finn, JD, Carlito, they're all embracing her. Be mad at them. I think they need to work on some communication issues because, again, everybody on Raw just appears to be a terrible person. Because these are very simple problems to work out if you have an iota of just common sense or eyesight. Dom wants nothing to do with Liv Morgan. Look, who took the hotel key card? Dom wasn't sneaking in the hotel. Finn Balor had the key card. That is on tape. Why is Rhea mad at Dom? Dom is just trying to live his life. He wants his chicken nuggets. He wants to beat his deadbeat dad. He can't do any of this stuff. And he's just got this Liv Morgan running around. As pretty as she is, she just won't leave him alone. Again, the man just wants to be left alone, and it's not happening. Shame on the Raw roster.
I like the little exchange between Finn and Damian Priest, with Finn at the end telling Priest, ever since you won the world championship, you change. And he's right. He's absolutely right. Like, Damian was somewhat going towards that when they were at the end of their tag team title run, where he was feeling himself and he was like the dominant person in the group. But yes, ever since he's won the world title, he's like, I don't need the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day needs me and all this stuff. So I like the fact that Finn called him out on that, and we're not just seeing Finn kind of with the side eye stuff. He's going right to his face and telling him how it is. What did you think, Chase?
Yeah, first of all, the feud of the year has to be the Judgment Day versus the word handle it, because every week it's something about they need to handle some situation. It's been 5 weeks with Braun Strowman. He has not been handled. I do not understand why you guys keep saying we got to handle a situation. Damian, you should know by now, Dom's not going to handle this situation. First of all, I highly believe that I think Damian's gaslighting. I feel mommy is texting her Latino heat before she's texting Damian Priest, and she needs Damian Priest to start fixing the issues between him and Finn. Because Finn, let's be real, Finn has a point. Liv, what is she really doing that's harming the Judgment Day? She got them a free tag team title match, giving them chicken nuggets, got them a PS5 and 2K24. She's doing nothing. Yes, she is trying to ruin Mommy's Judgment Day, and we'll get to that when Mommy comes back. But without Mommy right now, stepmommy Liv Morgan, she's doing a great job at bailing in. She's the mom that's stepping up right now. Damian Priest, you're not stepping up. You're acting like an individual. You're not acting like the team member you were in the Judgment Day before you became world champion. Now you're acting like a complete individual, and Finn called him out. And I loved how Damian Priest was like, well, like how we needed Rhea. Now it's my turn to be the leader. I'm like, bro, you're like the worst leader then of the Judgment Day. Like, what is this? You're not doing anything for these guys. Like, I still don't know if Carlito's a member or not. Like, what is he doing in the locker room? Is he still an associate? Like, yeah, but I like that Finn. It actually just stood up instead of like getting the slow burn of waiting. Like now, especially because there's that world title match coming up, and there was a segment later on in the night, and it's like, okay, they're doing at least something to get me interested in the world title match on Saturday.
Yeah. Like I said before, I feel like the whole dissension within the Judgment Day doesn't even feel like long-term storytelling anymore. Yeah. It feels like a story that's been told too long, because it's like over a year of dissension between Finn and Priest, where they kind of recovered from that when they won the tag team titles and they were good for a while, and now it's right back to where it's at again. But this little segment gave me hope that we might be hitting a boiling point in this whole thing, which I've been looking for over a year now. I would like that. I would like them to get to the point of this.
Yes.
Chase has a point though, because Judgment Day has completely replaced the phrase "we run Monday Night Raw" with "we're gonna handle it." Braun Strowman, we're gonna handle it. Which to a good point by Corey in the comments here. Braun Strowman was getting his ass kicked in the video game. They were making sure to handle it digitally, so they're doing something. Carlito is the oldest member in that locker room, and he is acting like a complete prepubescent boy. It's hysterical. Chase, great point with the stepmommy thing, because now that I think about it, Liv and Dom does give some weird stepmommy energy, which is probably what she's going for. And I give it about a week until she uses that line. But I'm starting to think that this is all a big inside job. Because if we think about this, Carlito was an enemy. Liv Morgan was an enemy. Finn Balor was an enemy. It feels like a giant inside job at this point to kill the Judgment Day. And it may or may not be working. But Priest might be the most delusional man in all of WWE, because he's, I don't need you guys. You won the title in 5 minutes by cashing in on a man who was completely blindsided and assaulted by another man. You're not like the king of the world here.
You have not
like,
won a singles match
Yeah.
clean since you won the title. He needed help from Judgment Day to beat Rey Mysterio, who's a WWE Hall of Famer, but also 2 feet tall, 2 feet shorter than him, and he couldn't beat him on his own.
6 times over, surgically repaired knees, not knees. So Priest isn't doing so hot right now. I mean, he should really think about who he's talking to and what he's saying.
Facts. We got a super chat donation from Will Chisholm once again. Thank you for the big one here. Will, he says, I love how Priest is the big brother loyal to Rhea and Liv is like, Finn, don't you remember you was Bullet Club leader? Don't you want that feeling again? Yeah, it kind of is like Liv being around is making Balor kind of remember that he at one point a lot of people viewed him as the leader of the Judgment Day, despite him being the newer member in comparison to Priest and Rhea, who are OG members of the group. We also got a super chat donation once again from Will Chisholm, who brings up Priest once again, and he says Priest is trying to save Dom. Rhea beat up Dom for fun. Now think what she's gonna do when she's mad at him. That's also true. I don't know what happens in their home when the BDSM vibes. I'm getting strong BDSM vibes. So.
Yes, I mean, and to Liv's credit, she's just trying to treat the man right, but at the same time, again, he's good with his mommy and his chicken nuggets. Like I think Liv is overstepping here, and at some point, Ripley's going to be back soon to take care of business.
Absolutely agreed there. We got a great video package. It was the one that he played on SmackDown for the late, great Sika of the Wild Samoans. WWE always does exceptional work with their video packages, and I think it's got even better under the Triple H lead fitting era so far. And then we get backstage Zelina Vega with some words before her WWE Women's World Championship matchup against Liv Morgan. She says that she is after the title and not after some dirty D, and she's ready to prove herself. So she says, sarcastically, watch me. And then goes out to the ring. Love her entrance attire with the Puerto Rican flag, looking great here. And then we have our Women's World Championship matchup, Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega. And I think that to echo what Chase heard earlier, this was a match that was definitely helped by the crowd being hot. And I feel like they're getting into the Liv Morgan character. I said last week that last week felt like the first week that Liv finally felt like a star and a worthy champion, despite not having a lot of title defenses here. But here she had the crowd into the matchup. The crowd was into cheering for Zelina to get the victory here. You also had Dom and Rey Mysterio came out to a huge pop from this Boston crowd. I was like, damn, Boston really likes Rey. I know he's a legend, but he don't get these type of pots every week. So it was very nice to hear that. Zelina hit a nice little 619 into a tornado DDT for a 2 count. She came very close, which led also during this matchup, you had Liv Morgan hitting moves like she was Rhea Ripley doing the prism lock at one point. But after Vega got that near fall on the tornado DDT, we get Dom who's like, all right, F this. I'm going to give her a chair to get the job done. He hands the chair, slides the chair into Zelina right in front of the referee. He tries to distract the referee by getting on the apron, but Zelina wants none of his help. She throws the chair at his head. This doesn't work out for her as it just pisses off Liv, who comes and hits the Oblivion for the 1-2-3 to retain the WWE Women's World Championship. I thought this was a solid matchup, helped out by the character work of Liv Morgan, as well as Dom and Rey at ringside. And Zelina put in a very good effort here with some nice near falls down the stretch. Post-match, Liv is all over Dom. Dom's like, I don't want anything to do with it. He's like hurt. He's holding his head. He's just walking ahead of her. And Liv's like, oh, daddy, please. I'm sorry you got hit with the chair. Then we get Kathy Kelly come out to interview Liv Morgan. And she says that the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour is going well and it's not stopping. And she would like to dedicate her win to the sexiest man in the world, Dominik Mysterio. And Liv Morgan is just great in this role. I love it so much. Robert, what did you think of Liv versus Zelina here?
It was a great match. I think it was helped by the outside shenanigans. Rey Mysterio just coming out to beat up his son ahead of their match was just unfair. Don wasn't doing anything. He's trying to help Zelina win. But, Liv Morgan gets her way yet again. She's proving that she's taken Rhea Ripley's moves. She took Rhea Ripley's one of her only memorable wins as champion by beating Zelina. So she's doing exactly what she's setting out to do. And poor Dom is just like, I'm surprised he's not going into Adam Pearce's office and trying to get traded over to SmackDown to just get away from all of this. But strong match and a strong story building for everybody involved.
Agreed. Chase?
Yeah, everything you said, SP3, just solid women's world title match. I just want to point out, this is why I've seen a lot of debate online between the Triple H PLE structure where he'll have 5 or 6 matches, and a lot of people are like, why isn't this match on the PLE? Well, I'm glad this match wasn't on the PLE, because if anything, I would have been like, this is a PLE match. Like, this does not feel like a PLE match. The crowd definitely helped this match feel really good, because I was like, did I black out and miss like 5 minutes of like good stuff? Like where did the buildup go and stuff? But no, this was solid. And I like that, we're able to have world title matches before the PLEs, or matches that feel like, yeah, they could be on the PLE, but let's keep them on Raw or SmackDown as attraction matches for the fans to say, hey, maybe I'll go to Monday Night Raw because they have the women's world title match. I really did like this. It was very solid. Liv, this is way much of an improvement than she was like 2 years ago. Like, I remember that horrible SmackDown women's title run that she had, where it was just kind of like she was just there until Ronda Rousey wanted to show up to work. So this is a way bigger improvement.
Yeah, I said it from the beginning when they teased her heel turn. I was like, she has a much higher ceiling as a heel than she ever did as an underdog babyface. And we're kind of seeing the fruits of their labor of building her up over the last month or so.
Cause not gonna lie, if I was dating a Liv Morgan, I'd feel like she's this kind of toxic. Like, I feel like this, my relationship with her would be this type of toxic. Like, I wouldn't think she's this nice, spunky baby face that we saw in the Riot Squad, that she just wants to have some fun. I feel like this is the toxicity I would be expecting from Liv Morgan. So yeah, no, I like it as a heel. I believe it.
Like with most toxic people, though, she only starts seeing success when she stops trying to wear that mask, and she's just embracing the fact that I'm a little crazy, I'm a little toxic, and now look at the success. That's the lesson, kids. Don't wear masks. Just embrace who you are, even if it's toxic. The right things will come your way.
Embrace your toxicity. If there's one message you want to get from this review, it's that.
Right.
We get some words from Drew McIntyre going through his whole being screwed by CM Punk and promising to win tonight's main event and go on to Money in the Bank, once again showing off his Punk bracelet. We also got some footage from the first few minutes of the WrestleMania 40 documentary, which I don't like at all. I'll be admitted. I don't like anything that's like, this isn't real.
Yeah.
like that was just a big commercial of, this isn't real, guys. Let's check out the road to WrestleMania behind the scenes. I was like,
especially when you have these scary oogly boogly characters that can murder anyone on the show. Like, now you're telling me, like, why should I be afraid of Huskus the pig? Like, I know that's just some dude in a mask. And, it was funny. I love Triple H, I don't want to be the center of these guys. These guys make things. But in the thumbnail, he's dead right in the center, smiling. This guy, he finally got to put himself over the Rock. SP3, he did it.
I was like, this dude is becoming P. Diddy before our eyes. This dude's all up in the music videos, everything. Now he's actually convinced. I had a whole read on Sunday on True Elite Flagship. He's convinced all these people that every great thing in WWE, it's Triple H. Thank you, Triple H.
Exactly. Dead center. This documentary is because of him. Without Triple H, we're not getting this documentary.
I mean, they beat that drum hard at Mania, but he's also, to his credit, he did try to deflect almost immediately at the post shows, but to no avail. Like, everything they said that whole week was, this is the Triple H era. This is the Triple H this. To your point, I used to hate when they did this. This is fake. But after the pandemic era, where you had like Chris Jericho would go on Facebook and reveal the backstage stage of the whole match, like 20 minutes after it happened, I'm kind of numb to it. So I am looking forward to the documentary. But I will say the most interesting thing I saw was I paused this commercial and you can see that he was writing something regarding Cedric Alexander and Odyssey Jones. That's the most interesting thing to me, that they're aware Odyssey Jones is on their payroll and is a wrestler that they can use. So we'll see where all that goes.
Hey, Odyssey Jones is the new Mark Henry. He's going to all the NIL tours. He's getting all these college kids. He's telling them, hey, look, all you got to do is just do well in NXT, and then you can just cash out. That's it. They'll bring you up to the
free catering every week, free catering, y'all.
Yeah, let's be honest. That's not a bad gig as long as he's happy. Shout out to him. He's living his best life.
Yes, and I didn't mention that Liv during the matchup did the three amigos, but it was not a good three amigos, but at least it was better than Dom's. So I'll give her that. We also got a super chat donation once again from Will Chisholm. Thank you, Will. He says Zelina can't talk she's with a man that's doing fake blackface. LOL. I'm joking.
Yeah, but let's be real here. You bring that up. Zelina and Rhea must be talking all the time. Again, this is more inside job nonsense because they're just in the House of Black. So
true.
You might want to be aware of who you're letting so close to your family.
They're House of Black adjacent. They're in relationships. We also got another super chat donation from Will. Thank you so much, Will. Killing it today. He says it took Ray like a year to hit his son. Now he's just doing it all the time. Yo, he don't even need a reason. He's like, you out here during my people's match? Here, punch. Like, what?
That's that. He let it bottle up for so long that now he's just like on site. I don't care about you anymore. I'm just gonna hit you. This is for all the reasons I didn't when you were a kid. I remember that time that you spilled, the juice on my carpet. It's for that.
Here's that. Next up, we got Seth freaking Rollins. He is out here. That's when we got, at this point, the green confetti from the Celtics win coming down on him, and he mentions congratulations to the NBA champions, and he thinks that he'll be back in this ring next week as world heavyweight champion. Rollins talks about how this is a championship city and they know why he has to win on Saturday. If he can't win at Money in the Bank, he has to take another look at himself, but he is at his best when the pressure is on. But this cues up his old arch nemesis, Finn Balor, to interrupt. He says that he's in a bad mood because everything is changing. Rollins thinks Balor is changing, like Priest being the world champion. He says that he really thinks that the whole issue that Balor is having with Priest is the fact that Priest is the world heavyweight champion, and as hard as he did, Balor was never able to win that same prize. This brings out Priest to the ring to interrupt, with Rollins thinking that this was all a trap. But Priest actually accuses Balor of getting in his business. Rollins is ready to fight, though. He says that he should be focused on Money in the Bank, and Priest says that he has everything on the line with the world title and his spot in the Judgment Day. But Balor wants to fight. He turns him around and punches Rollins, but Rollins takes him down with a super kick, and then Priest stops him from attacking him further. This leads to Balor going after Rollins while he's distracted with Priest, and Priest has to pull Balor off of Rollins, which leads to a little stare off between the two men. But then Seth Rollins super kicks Priest into Balor with a nice both men going down, but Priest gets turns things around. He picks Rollins up with a huge South of Heaven choke slam, and then he helps Balor to the back. When we come back from commercial break, we see Damian Priest and Finn Balor backstage, and Priest tells Balor that he appreciates the help, but on Saturday he has this and he wants him to stay in the back. Balor seems to accept that, but then also gives another side-eye look to Priest like, you are changing. You've changed ever since you've been the world champion. Chase, what did you think about this segment here?
It was a passable segment to get me ready for the World Heavyweight Title match. Seth Rollins just naming all the sports teams. Cool, congrats. Yeah, I really like the tension between Priest and Balor here, but unfortunately, SP3, I'm sorry, we're not going to get a clean Damian Priest win now. That this solidified that it's going to be some shenanigans going on once again for Priest to retain the world title or Seth Rollins to win. That's the one thing I liked about this segment, because now I don't know where Finn kind of aligns. I'm still leaning towards Priest retaining, but Seth Rollins winning, and especially because let's be real, Gunther's the next guy. What's a bigger SummerSlam and probably the better match? Seth versus Gunther. Seth is also a guy, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't mind a month-long title reign. It doesn't hurt him whatsoever. He held that belt for a year, all close to a year anyways. He probably, if he wasn't injured, maybe walking out as world champ. Maybe he's still world champion at this point, if everything went to plan, CM Punk was healthy, But I really like the Damian and Finn tension. I don't know if it gets ramped up at Money in the Bank. I don't know if it goes to SummerSlam, but I do know Damian Priest is not winning clean on Saturday, unfortunately, because he really did need that clean win, especially when going against the Ring General Gunther.
I was like, I just want him to get one clean. I'm looking out for my New York brethren. I just want him to get one clean win. I thought beating Seth clean would have done that, but I agree with you, Chase.
Huge.
It feels like it's a foregone conclusion that there's going to be some type of shenanigans here. Robert, what did you think of the segment?
I thought it was good. I think the unfortunate thing about Rollins being back is that it just shows you had no plans for anyone on Raw. Like, you managed to just go, all right, we'll get through Damian and Jay, and then we'll do we'll give Damian a month off, and then we'll do Damian and Drew, and okay, Seth is back, so we're good. At this point, you could just put it back on Seth. I'd rather see Seth and Gunther. I think that's an easier story to tell. I think there's a world before Punk comes back and all that would have been the match at WrestleMania 40, but I would rather see that. I'm just not sure if Damian loses. If he does, though, I think it sets up a pretty clean 6-person tag of Damian, Dom, and Rhea versus Finn, JD, and Liv, because I think that's where we're going here, where eventually it will be, Dominic will be, his conscience will be clear. He'll be the guy who never turned his back on Rhea, but I'm not sure until we see that moment on TV. But I don't think, even if he wins, I don't think the ending of the match is clean on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there. We then get a pre-tape promo from Ludwig Kaiser, who reveals that he broke his ribs last week, but he is blaming it on Sheamus and not the real person that did it, Bron Breakker. He said that Sheamus interfered in his matchup and injured his ribs, and he swears vengeance on Sheamus. He said he wanted to beat him before. Now he wants to destroy him. We'll have to see how long Ludwig Kaiser is going to be out of action. But I just found it funny that I was like, it was clearly Bron Breakker on that crazy clothesline off the apron that injured you. But you're going to blame it on Sheamus for kneeing you in the face. Kneeing you in the face broke your ribs.
Yes.
Cool stuff. Cool stuff.
It absolutely did. And he's right. He's going to go after, I'm not going to go after Bron Breakker, who's on a roll right now and might kill me. I'm going to go after the guy who's a former world champion. He set himself up with a nice feud here. And I think that gives Sheamus an out for when he's not chasing the IC title or a world title. I like this idea. And busted ribs shouldn't be out too long.
Yeah, I hope so. Because Ludwig Kaiser's on a good run here so far. What do you think, Chase?
Yeah, Ludwig and Sheamus, fight forever. Down with it. Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I just want Ludwig to do something else besides Sheamus. I feel like he's been with Sheamus for like how long? I don't know.
It's been about a month, but I guess this is going to be the real feud that kind of gets him over, which is understandable.
I like that Gunther won the King of the Ring and said, I'm out of here until SummerSlam. You don't need...
Yeah. No,
you got people murdering people.
Sport.
You got people murdering people. This is not my wrestling. I'll come back when I got my world title shot. Thank you. Goodbye.
That's the feud I'm waiting for, when Uncle Howdy and Gunther have the feud, and Gunther's looking at him like, I am not afraid of this oogly boogly. It just slaps all the Wyatt Six. I cannot wait.
He going to chop him and the mask going to fall off. Oh, my God. Women's Money in the Bank qualifying matchup was next. Dakota Kai of Damage Control versus Zoe Stark and Ivy Nile. These three women probably not going to be the ones that win the Money in the Bank briefcase, but this was a nice kind of opportunity for all three to kind of showcase themselves. I thought that Ivy Nile looked really good in this matchup, hitting some good offense. The double bulldog off the middle rope was really good. You had Kairi Sane. She came out to get involved and help out Dakota, it seemed, when Isla Dawn and Alba Fire interfered, jumping her, throwing her into the barricade. This distracted Dakota Kai enough for Zoe Stark to hit the Z360 to pick up the victory here in just under 10 minutes. Zoe Stark moves on once again to be in the Money in the Bank for the second straight year, but a lot of people on social media was upset after over the weekend. Dakota Kai got very emotional during a Twitch stream, talking about she's never had a singles opportunity on a pay-per-view before, and she really wanted this. She got almost teary-eyed talking about it, and even commentary brought it up. So I think they are probably going to make that a part of her story where she's going to go babyface, because we'll talk about later how Io was looking at her during the backstage segment. It was the same way Io looked at Bayley before. But Chase, what did you think about the triple threat match here?
Yeah, I was more upset that Ivy Nile didn't make this match more than Dakota Kai. Look, Dakota Kai will get her chances. She'll be fine. She's in a group with Io Sky, who has been one of the top women in WWE for the last 2 years, so she's fine. But Zoe Stark's winning. I saw this tweet. Like, someone post someone with no aura, and someone reposted with Zoe Stark's that said they had her feud with Trish Stratus, and it's so true. Like, Zoe Starks, I always joke about her. She's the first one in the building, the last one to leave. She's helping the construction crew break it down and stuff. Like, I don't know. She's the carrying cross of the women's division, where it's just like, you know, she's fine. She just does her things. Nothing about her screams that I'm excited. Like, every time I see her, I almost just want to grab the remote and change it. Like, Ivy Nile, I would have loved to seen her done like I don't know if y'all seen Ivy Nile do her workout tape. She does a crazy reversal. I would have loved to see Ivy Nile show off that great core strength, you know, do some crazy thing with the ladder running up it or something. I would have been much better than with Zoe Starks, who I don't know. Like, I think when she goes up there for the ladder, we're gonna hear a pin drop. Like, people are just gonna be like, "Oh, she's just going up there. She's about to get pushed off or something." But yeah, you know, I understand why people wanted Dakota Kai to win, but was she needed in this match? Nah, not really. Like, I don't feel like it's like the end all be all. But yeah, I mean, I guess it would have helped Io be more pissed at her if she was in the match and she couldn't even help Io win the match or something, and maybe cause some damage control tension. So.
Yeah, damn. You roasted.
Zoe Stark might be a little buried. I'm gonna have to help Zoe Stark get out of the ground there.
She's the first one in the building, so you can help her out a lot.
Dakota, I didn't know about the Dakota thing until today when I saw people actively upset on social media. I don't know. Look, everybody wants a shot. Like, I think Dakota's great. I think Dakota has been great for a long time. Dakota's been wrestling for a long time. Dakota, I think, is a lot more experienced and a lot older than some people might think. She's been in the game a while, and I do think she deserves a chance. I just don't think that this is the thing to get upset about, because it's not like, oh, she was going to win Money in the Bank. There's two options for Money in the Bank, and it ain't any of the three women that were wrestling here. I'm with Chase. I wanted Ivy Nile. I thought that would have been a fun showcase match for her, but it looks like they went with, hey, we're going to need an experienced hand that can kind of steady the ship. And like Chase keeps saying, well, you need someone to come first and leave last.
Exactly.
It's Zoe Stark. So that's what her role is here. I think fun match, but honestly, we all know it's either Tiffy or Chelsea on Saturday night, and ultimately it's inconsequential who else is in there.
I agree with you. It is really up to those two. I've been on the Tiffany Stratton from Money in the Bank train since Backlash, since he came up short in the triple threat against Naomi and Bayley. That's been my pick for Money in the Bank, and they've done everything to make me believe that that's going to happen on Saturday with her being in this alliance with the Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax. It sets up for my booking to come true of Nia does all the work at SummerSlam, and then during the matchup, Tiffany cashes in and takes advantage and wins the WWE Women's Championship.
You know, Nia, I've said this, and I mean this with all love in my heart. She's on a King Mabel run. Like, this is very much.
Both of y'all are going.
You thought I was bad. She just called Nia Jax the Samoan Queen, King Mabel. What's
There's one person who said that Zoe Stark is the female Karrion Kross. And we had another.
Hold on. This is a Mabel. Mabel headlined like 5 pay-per-views in 95. It's a great place to be. I just think, because honestly, I thought Nia Jax had that belt wrapped up until you just said, oh, she's probably going to hit the bonsai. And then Tiffany comes in and just pins Bayley. Poor Nia Jax. Because I actually think Nia Jax, of all the people who've been fired and rehired, has done the best job of wiping away most of the stink on her name. So this would be a great win for her. But you just said that. Now I'm like, damn, I do think Tiffany might just come in and roll up Bayley. And I like Tiffany as Money in the Bank for the simple fact of I can cash in. I'm not cashing in on your time. I'm cashing in on Tiffy time. There's t-shirts to be made there. And I think she could hold it for a while, but SummerSlam is also looking like a pretty good shot.
Hey, well, we shall see what happens, but man, just hear it. Nia's Mabel. That was wild, but I agree with you. Nia, I've said it a couple of times on here. Nia is the best re-signing of the Triple H era. Everybody else he's still trying to get them up to where they were before. Nia has blown away her first run and had a better run this time.
You almost forget Nia's most memorable moment of her first run was her saying "my hole" when she missed the leg drop. That was like the most memorable moment. Like the feud with Alexa Bliss and all that other stuff. Like, nothing. Like, and I was a Nia Jax defender. I was telling people, look, she just punched Becky hard. It happens in the sport. Stop being mad at her. She's not unsafe. Like, I would defend, my Samoan Queen, Nia Jax. Love her. She's beautiful in person, by the way. Love Nia Jax.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she is like this run of hers, like especially that match with Rhea at the Elimination Chamber. I was just like, okay, yeah, she's back to full force. And then even that, the Lyra match was just kind of like a whatever match. I love that finish.
But the finish will be replayed forever. That was gnarly.
Yeah, like the fact that she convinced Lyra Valkyrie, hey, can you mind if I just sit on you with all my force? And then Lyra was like, sure, let's do it. It's like, damn.
And the matches with Becky were great. The matches, matches, all the matches with Becky were really good. We got Big Man Dogs. He says, does that make Tiffany Mo?
I don't think, look, I don't think Mo was in the running for a world championship ever. Tiffany's great. She ain't no Mo.
She ain't no Mo, man. Oh, we got another super chat donation from Will, who says, EO looking like you don't know I'm fitting to get rid of you. I'm bringing in some women from Marigold. You mean NXT Japan? EO history is bringing in people way back in Stardom. I'm sorry. Every time I see Marigold, I got to cough and say NXT Japan.
Why we lied? It's just NXT Japan. Come on, guys.
Well, no, it's not, because NXT Japan, it's NXT Joshi. You could say that.
I learned what marigold means in Japanese. It means NXT Japan. That's what I heard. The translation to marigold is NXT Japan. That's what I learned. I asked someone, I said, konnichiwa. I don't know. Thanos. Marigold. And he said, NXT Japan. I'm like, okay.
Jesus.
Absolutely. We got Frantic around the chat since SP3. Please bring back Jason Robert for more WWE Raw reviews. They signed their ticket for more appearances on the channel by comparing Zoe Stark to Karrion Kross and Nia to Mabel.
Look, at least I'll say this: at least Mabel main evented things, wrestled Diesel, wrestled Taker. Karrion Kross, I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's Zoe Starks. I don't know, man. You're gonna go back and rewatch stuff from this era when we're older. Your kids are gonna be watching wrestling, and then you're gonna be like, Dad, Zoe Starks, was she a big deal? And you're gonna be like, Zoe, who? Oh, I forgot about her. Like that's what's gonna happen. It's like when I go back and watch 2013 WWE and I see Caitlyn is spearing AJ Lee, and I'm like, who's that?
Caitlyn was memorable, but Caitlyn AJ Lee, you will not disrespect here.
Caitlyn AJ Lee. That shows you where we were. where we were at the time. They had like a good 7-minute match, and we were like, "Oh God, that was WrestleMania."
Women's wrestling.
We're on the rise. We're on the rise.
I always remember, what was it? The Divas of Doom, Beth Phoenix. She did that one move to Eve Torres at Survivor Series in New York. 2012,
Yep.
and everyone's like, "This is it. The women are back." And I was all like,
We're
"Bro,
back.
Eve Torres just took a bump off the top rope. I think we're not back, guys."
Well, we're back with some more Wyatt 6 as they finally found a VHS player to play the tape. We get the Wyatt's video from earlier with another interview with Uncle Howdy and Bo Dallas. We get Howdy asking Dallas what he was thinking. And Dallas says that they are the ones who were forgotten. They were clay in the hands of the potter. And now they are family. The false prophets must pay for their sins. They talk about being the reckoning, and their voice starts to merge. He says, "I am the voice of the reckoning. I am the reckoning." We see how they see them basically. Howdy is now in the spot Bo was, then he disappears. Then Bo is in the spot that Howdy was, and you can see them basically merging together before your eyes. Howdy then disappears, and it leaves Dallas to say he's who sets them free. Then Dallas disappears with Howdy popping back in to say they are who we say they are. So I love this stuff because of it being shot in the Firefly Funhouse. I see that people are just now noticing. I peeped this and I called this on last week's review that this is the Firefly Funhouse that they're doing a therapy session in. This is great stuff. Bo Dallas, I think, is doing a great job, but I really like the fact that they gave the group a mission statement, that they're going after people that have betrayed their families or turned their back on their families. It gives the whole thing a mission statement. I think that, and it's pretty much grounding the spookiness and the horror element that was the first kind of debut, because that's not something they can do every week. They have to ground it. They have to bring some character work to it. And I think Bo is doing an excellent job as Howdy. Now we need the others in the group to have their own interviews and therapy sessions. And I think that will tie it all together. Howdy interviewing Nikki Cross, Howdy interviewing Joe Gacy, Howdy interviewing Dexter Lumis. I think the best one's going to be Howdy interviewing Eric Rowan, where he could be like, "I've been alone because I lost my family. Both of my family passed away." Like, I think that's going to be the one that hits the hardest. But I think that Bo Dallas is doing an excellent job, and he's coming. You're seeing him flourish for the first time, even though he's done good work in the past. Bo leave, all the B team and all that stuff. This is really him getting something that he could really sink his teeth into. Robert, what did you think about this one?
I thought this was really effective. Like, again, my only complaint was I think we could have wrapped all of this up in last week's and gotten a new interview tonight to keep the story moving, because the big criticism with all the Wyatt stuff, whether it was Bray or right now, is it takes too long to get to the point. Once you get to the point, you're kind of over it. But outside of that, I like the detail you pointed out that I didn't know was they're filming it in the Funhouse. That makes sense. I think this was really good. And look, we told a lot of jokes on this show, but the one thing that did cross my mind when they were talking was, Bray and Bo were some spooky dudes. I just wonder if Mike Rotunda is just sitting at home I played a taxman and I was a collegiate wrestler, and God, my kids are some spooky dudes. It's so far removed from everything else, but they're so good at it. And at the end of the day, this is great. Now let's see him get in the ring and prove I'm a threat, and I will be comparable to Rollins, to Priest, to McIntyre, to Punk. Because there's so much meat on the bone. If you tell the story right in the ring, you've got endless opponents because you're just an extension of Wyatt. And that's going to be where the money is.
And there's so many, like you said, this whole company is filled with people that have turned their back on their family. Like Chad Gable is the first person that they're targeting right now, but they have reason to go after Jey Uso. They have reason to go after Seth Rollins. They have reason to go after Dominik. They have reason to go after Gunther. Like, all the top guys in some way have turned their back on their family. And if he can, like, we got Big Man Dogs who says, man, Solo is lucky these guys are drafted on Raw and magically can't be on SmackDown, because they could go after Solo on SmackDown if they want to. They can go to Cody and be like, you left your brother behind, so we're coming after you. Like, there's so many things that they can go where it's touching on real life and it's grounding and making it something that can move forward and not just spooky bollocks. Yeah. Chase, what did you think of this?
So I'm keeping my Wyatt 6 expectations still low, but I'm loving this. Bias aside, Bo Dallas is killing it. The last 2 weeks, just amazing promos, amazing. I love the video cinematography, the video shots, the voice transition. I'm loving that there's an actual mission statement, but I'm just keeping grounded to reality. I don't want, like, I see people fantasy booking already, Bloodline versus Wyatt 6 inside. I'm like, guys, this is just let's see what Wyatt 6 does with their first feud. Like, I'm willing to let it play out, but I don't want to be bamboozled like I was with The Fiend. The Fiend really hurt me, guys. I was really excited for The Fiend. I love that stupid thing. I love that he punched with the hurt hand only. I was into that stupid thing. And then the Hell in a Cell match happened. And all my love of The Fiend just went away. And then Goldberg happened. Goldberg couldn't lift him up. and then that happened. So that's why for me, I'm just like, as much as I would love to be like, I'm in on this, I know what happens with these Bray Wyatt storylines. Like, Bray Wyatt has two of the most forgettable storylines of all time with Randy Orton. I don't know how you have two forgettable storylines with Randy Orton. Both of them were Randy Orton destroyed your house. He burned down the houses twice. Like, how do you forget?
And burned him alive. He burned him alive.
And both of them were, by the way, the WWE title matches at like WrestleMania. You know, like,
that's why I'm saying, like, this. It's just these storylines. These are the ones where, yes, I'll give it time. I'll admit when it's good. I'm not going to be like, I'm a total hater. I just hate, like, I'm not a big fan of it, but I can put my bias aside when they do good stuff. This is good stuff. I like that they're going to attack families. If they attack the bloodline, good luck. You know, Roman Reigns is just going to say what he said to Bray. You're just a freak in a mask. That's all he's going to do. He's just going to talk shit to you guys. You're like, what are you supposed to be, a pig? Oh. And stuff like that. He's just gonna talk all this shit. It's all right.
Superman punched his nose off and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing is, if they can get it good, they have a lot of meat on the bone with just a lot of unfinished Bray stories. They created a whole Paul Heyman puppet, the Wobbly Walrus, that they just never did because Roman just decided, maybe, like, I'm not doing this. I'm not working with this stuff. So you can bring that back. You've got eventually Rollins in a Hell in a Cell with all of them is going to be quite the visual. If you can tell the good story, you're going to be so good. But let's not forget, the last time we saw Howdy in a ring, it was just Bobby Lashley destroying him. Yeah, they did a good job making people forget it, but like, that happened. So you have to follow through, because that's where these Wyatt stories fail.
Yes. It's always good, and then the bell rings. I've said this before with Bray Wyatt. But speaking of families, we got a family torn apart once again as a WrestleMania 39 rematch is on. Rey versus Dominik Mysterio. Dominik started off fast, running over his dad, only to get drop kicked to the floor. Rey grabbed the Hurricane Rana from the apron as we go to commercial break. Rey was in trouble, but ended up getting elbowed in the face for a 2 count for Dom. Rey sends Dom into the corner and hits a top rope seated senton, followed up by a kick to the head. But this brought out Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan came out for a distraction, allowing Dom to grab the half crab of all things. Dominik hits 3 amigos, but Rey knocks him into Liv, and he gets on top of her in the missionary position. Liv keeps him on, making sure that he is straddling her effectively. Oh my God. This cues up Zelina Vega, who comes out and she goes after Liv Morgan. This distracts Dom as he's on the top rope as Liv comes down from the apron and basically crotches Dom. This leads to Rey doing a very innovative version of the 619 with Dom on the top rope. Dom falls off of the top rope, and then Rey hits the drop in the dime for the 1-2-3 to pick up the victory here. So Dom inadvertently helped Liv get the win earlier in the night, and then Liv inadvertently makes Dom lose this matchup. So I love the storytelling with that alone.
Yes.
What did you think of this match here, Chase?
I liked it. It was not the WrestleMania 39 Instant Classic where I also lost my voice for when I was there live, but it was still good. You know, Ray, he can go when he needs to go, and I like Ray in these spots where he's just kind of, you know, I don't need Rey Mysterio going for any title anytime soon, but just, you know, wrestling guys that kind of need that boost or just need help in the ring. Dom works well with Ray, and like you said, the polarizing, you know, Dom helped Liv win when he didn't want to. Liv helped Dom lose when she didn't want to. So now it's like, you know, she has to apologize to Daddy Dom, saying, "Oh, Daddy Dom, I'm sorry, that's not my fault. I didn't mean to." It's great. Like it's so good. I like the Liv stuff. Like Liv is like slowly just becoming one of the most like fun things to watch on Raw every Monday for me. I'll tune in for just for her because of her overacting, soap opera, novella acting. I love it.
Rey Mysterio is a menace. Okay. Yeah. You did not need to knock your son into this woman, and you know your wife is watching at home. You're putting your son in these unfortunate positions, and then you're not even like remotely gonna think about letting your son get one over on you in the ring. Rey Mysterio is a menace. Okay, that's poor Dom. Dom should be the top babyface on Raw right now. This is a very sympathetic time for him. I honestly, like Chase said, this is great stuff. This is great acting. This is great. Dom's playing his role perfectly. Liv seems like she was born for this type of storytelling. And Ray is just still delivering the goods after all these years. This is a solid match. Not WrestleMania 39, but this was a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely agree with you. And I really feel like I was like wondering, I was like, is Dom going to actually win this one? And I was like, nope. I was like, they really are saving Dom beating Ray until the final match of Ray's career. Yeah. That's what I really feel like. Until Ray goes to them and says, this is going to be my final match, you beat Dom every time. God. He turns into Hulk Hogan. He's like, it doesn't work for me.
You know, it's just, I thought that Liv would help Dom get the win, and then Liv could say, you see, Rhea didn't do this for you. But no. Ray just has to win until he's like, yeah, you can beat me now. I'm not coming to work tomorrow.
We got another super chat donation from Will Chisholm. He says it's scary how Bo is sounding like Bray. Yes, he's gotten the little southern twang to his voice now, especially when he's in the Howdy voice. It's really good. And next up, we had Sami's. Well, first we had a video package from Sheamus saying that he's ready to hit hard, talking about 15 years and how he's accomplished everything. And now he has a chance to become a 2-time Mr. Money in the Bank if he wins tonight. And then we have the Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn. He comes out for a chat ahead of his title defense at Money in the Bank in his home country of Canada. He knows people are thinking that Bron Breakker is going to destroy him, but he has been against the biggest and the baddest, and Bron Breakker doesn't scare him. This brings out his challenger, Bron Breakker, to interrupt. Breakker knows that Sami has guts, and he says that after he accepted his challenge and that he stepped up to him and made the challenge himself. But it also shows that Sami is nuts. So Breakker promises to win the title, but Zayn cuts him off and says that he's heard that far too many times. He's heard people say that they're going to beat him and break him in half. But every single time he has gotten up and he has picked himself up and gotten even better. Zayn thinks that Breakker might not be as smart as he says he is. And he says that he'll prove that when he retains the championship at Money in the Bank. Bron goes to leave or fake leave and then turns around and spears the crap out of Sami Zayn. Zayn rolls to the floor. Breakker goes to leave again, but then does the running head start and just the wide shot of Bron running across the ring. It seems so fast. But I love this spot that they did with Sami leapfrogging the spear and Bron going full throttle into those steel steps. I was like, God damn, that was fast. Then Sami brings him in the ring. He hits the exploder suplex into the corner. He's going for the haluva kick, but Bron hits him with a second spear. This time, Sami is not getting up. and then Braun raises the Intercontinental Championship in the air ahead of their matchup coming up on Saturday. And this scares me because I think that the logical booking here is for Braun to win on Saturday. But Wrestling 101 always has taught us if the guy is standing up tall at the go-home show, he probably is not winning at the pay-per-view. And I hope WWE does not convolute this. Don't make it a DQ finish. Don't have Sami retain, because then you're just dragging this out. Just have Braun win and continue his path to destruction. That's what I think. Robert, what do you think?
I think you're right. I think that is Wrestling 101. I think Braun loses nothing if he loses to Sami, but I would like to see Braun win, and not only win, I'd like to see, just like Gunther was used as like okay, we're going to give you a really strong champion. I want Braun to be a dominant champion, but one that can lose and maybe trade the title back and forth with Sami a couple times to reestablish for the audience. Not every reign needs to be Roman or Gunther. Not every reign needs to be 600 days. I think that's the way to go with Braun. I think Braun wins, and then he can hold it for like a month or so.
I'm fine with that even. I'll be fine with that. Chase?
Yeah, I really was hoping Sami would hit him with the Luba kick because he mentioned he's smarter than Braun, and I wanted Michael Cole to scream on commentary. And that's what Braun needs to realize. It's not about just brute force. You have to have brains, something like that. Or Corey Graves talk about it. I wanted something like that, but yeah, once Braun hit the spear, I was like, oh man, are we really good? Like, I like Sami Zayn. It's just like, man, like, I get it. The crowd's going to be really hyped for him, but this is where you want Braun to win, where the crowd's going to be booing the crap out of him, and he just does like 1, 2, 3 spears in a row and then pins Sami Zayn. And like, this is where you want it, the heat for Braun and everything. Like, he should win on Saturday, but I don't know. It's just Triple H. He loves his long time. Like, Triple H, it's like he promises these wrestlers, like, I'll give you 6 months with the title. Just trust me, 6+ months. Like, it's like every like, I feel like since the Triple H era, unless someone wants to prove me wrong, minus Drew, every champion has been 6+ months and stuff. The tag titles are the only ones, or both men and women, where he's okay flip-flopping them. But when it comes to like the singles titles, minus Drew at WrestleMania, all of them are 6+ months long. And I'm like, I just need, like what Robert said, I just need the predictability of the titles can change hands. Like, the Intercontinental title does not need to feel like it's like the hardest title to win. Like, that's why the world title's there and stuff. So, but yeah, I hope Braun does win, but it did not look good when he held the belt up high and looked dominant. And just the way Triple H books, it makes it seem like Sami's going to, like you said, by a DQ, where it's like, oh, you know, like, and stuff. And then maybe we get another cool shot where Braun runs from the top of the stands and does a jumping spear. Who knows? Like, they'll find a way to do cool things. But yeah, I hope Braun does win on Saturday. But I did like this segment. And when did Braun get better on the mic? Like, he used to be like at NXT, he used to struggle. He was holding that, like Tommaso Ciampa was beating him on the mic. I was like, what the hell? You're late, Tommaso Ciampa? Dog walk you on the mic? Come on, dude. Like, this is supposed to be their next top guy. And now
I don't know what it was. He's like tapped into the Scott Steiner inside of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he's starting to sound like him too.
Yeah, exactly. Like even during the badass run in NXT that he was having, he wasn't a good mic guy. It was just, he would just go out there and was just doing badass things. It wasn't like his mic work was like carrying him, but his mic work now is just so much better. Like, it's just like, oh, it's crazy. Like, don't know where he tapped into this, but I'm glad he's doing it because he is definitely one of their big cornerstones that they're going to be building around for many years to come.
Most definitely agree there. We got a super chat donation from Will Chisholm once again. Will, you are killing the game.
Big money, Will over here.
Big money. Check cleared on the first. We appreciate you, sir.
Will Chisholm's actually supporting me in my presidential run. I don't know.
I can see that.
He's one of the big donors.
Will says, if Sami loses, Chelsea wins Money in the Bank. You got to have someone in Canada. That is true. That is true. That's probably why Sami's going to win, because Chelsea's not going to win Money in the Bank. Yeah. So they're like, oh, we got to have somebody from Canada win. All right, Sami, you can get the win over Braun. Braun can afford it. But Braun's lost 2 matches by DQ. Like, it's like, come on. Could y'all
Isn't one of the top? Isn't Tama Tonga technically Canadian or something? Isn't he like somewhere? So technically, isn't he a technical Canadian?
Maybe on
I'm just saying. Cody, he adopts every country he goes to. He's the Canadian Nightmare this week. So, you know, like,
they love it.
You guys will have enough Canadians win. We don't need more.
All right, last couple of segments before the main event, you had Damage Control. They aren't happy after Dakota got the win, and obviously Io's not happy with this side eye at Dakota. But in comes Lyra Valkyria, and she makes it worse, talking some trash, saying that she's going to win Money in the Bank and get up the ladder faster than Io. A fight breaks out as Katana Chance and Kaden Carter join her in fighting Damage Control, and that leads to next week a 6-woman tag of Damage Control versus Lyra Valkyria, Katana Chance, and Kaden Carter. We also get highlights from the Bloodline acknowledgement ceremony with the Bloodline turning on and destroying Paul Heyman, and it's been viewed 6 million times across all. Oh, 62. Sorry, I had the phone in front of the thing. 60 million views across all WWE social platforms. It is the most viewed segment of any show, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT post WrestleMania, and for good reason. That was an all-time Bloodline segment. I loved it. Loved every second of it. Then we get the rundown for Money in the Bank. They're doing a 2-hour pre-show. I don't know why. Why do we need to hear the talking heads for 2 hours with no matches? Why?
I don't know. But they did what they promised us, an exclusive interview with, I think it's Rollins, or Michael Cole sat down with somebody and we're getting an exclusive interview. Here's what I appreciate about it being a 2-hour thing that starts at 5. That means the show is starting at 7, which means we might be out of here by like 10, 11 o'clock. That's just the most important thing to me in this era of content.
No,
hey,
I don't know,
the
man.
most important thing to me, because I'm in the UK, I need that. I need them to end at like 10, which is 3 a.m. here. I'm good.
Oh, well, that's not going to happen, guys. We got a bunch of top 10 videos that we have to play in the meantime. And, that video package for Braun Strowman, even though he's not on the card, we got to make sure people remember this guy.
I hope they got the right commercials to put in between matches.
Oh, they don't.
Unlike NXT Battleground.
It's worse if you don't have the Peacock Premium, because I know someone who doesn't, and you're literally just getting like Pizza Hut ads in the middle of your pay-per-view.
Ads? Yeah, I'm like, what the
granted, it's 2 minutes, but I mean, granted, you're paying $2, but still, I don't want this in my pay-per-view.
It's the worst too when Michael Cole has to remind us, if you have Peacock Premium, you'll see the actual video package that would get people hyped for the match, but if not, enjoy some ads. It's like, what? No, the video packages should not be part of Premium. That's the one thing. The video packages, everyone should get the video packages no matter what to hype you up, because especially if you have a new fan coming over or friends that kind of lapsed or whatever, those video packages help them go, oh, wow, this could be a sick match. And you're sitting there and be like, yeah, no, it's going to be Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns, man. It's not going to be that good. But I'm glad the video package got you into it.
But finally, we had the main event of this show, men's Money in the Bank qualifying matchup. We heard from Ilja Dragunov right before this main event matchup, as you have Drew McIntyre, Ilja Dragunov, and Sheamus. And this delivered exactly what everybody thought it would. This was a straight up hard-hitting, physically intense 3-way war. You had the beats of the Bowery across the barricade early on. Sheamus celebrating with the fans in the front row. You had McIntyre sending Dragunov flying with the overhead suplex, but then Sheamus hit a big top rope clothesline. Dragunov drops Sheamus and McIntyre and does H-bombs to the both of them, that looked vicious as hell. You got he only got a near fall on McIntyre after that one. We went to a commercial break after that, and we get a big Tower of Doom spot with Dragunov doing a German to Drew as he was doing a back suplex to Sheamus. The fans declared this is awesome. At that point, we get Dragunov with the Constantine special on Sheamus back up. He goes for the Torpedo Moscow, but he's cut off with a Claymore, so Dragunov has to go up, but he misses the Claymore. He goes for the Coast to Coast on Sheamus, but Sheamus catches him with a big pump knee for a near fall. Sheamus gets up and gives Dragunov the bro kick, but Dragunov slips out of the ring. This leads to Drew McIntyre throwing Dragunov over the barricade, and it leaves us with the two longtime rivals and friends in the ring. We get a pump knee by Sheamus. He tries to go for the bro kick, but then Drew catches him with the Claymore. 1, 2, 3. This match nearly went 18 minutes, and it's exactly what Sheamus' catchphrase always says. It's a banger after banger after banger here. This was a great ending to Monday Night Raw. Drew McIntyre picking up the win, and then post-match, he has an interview with Kathy Kelly, and McIntyre promises to win the briefcase and shows off the stolen CM Punk bracelet. And he not only says he's going to win the win the briefcase, he's going to go on and cash in for the World Heavyweight Championship and walk out as world champion at Money in the Bank. So, of course, CM Punk is probably going to screw him over, either in the ladder match or have Drew win the ladder match and then screw him out of the world title again on the cash-in. I think that's the better option. I would take that option. So what did you think of the match, and what do you think is going to transpire with Drew and Punk on Saturday? Let's start with you, Chase.
I love this matchup. Great main event. Dragunov is one of my favorite wrestlers just to watch in general. Like I can go on a whole Ilja Dragunov. Like WWE do like these playlist things. I will literally tune into a WWE playlist if it's just Dragunov matches, and I'll just sit there and I'll just enjoy watching every single one. He's great. Drew was great. Sheamus was great. Really great main event. This was really, really good. And I think what you said is going to happen. The ladder, where Drew's going to win the Money in the Bank. Because I don't feel strongly about anyone else in this Money in the Bank ladder match. Drew's the only one now where I feel, yeah, he's going to win. Like, what are you going to give it to Melo, Andrade? Like, because like I'm doing there's a bunch of ops. All right. So everyone has ops that are trying to cost them. But I feel like CM Punk, his hatred would try to cost the person when they're actually going for the world title. He's not going to cost him just grab. And plus, we don't want to get Punk hurt. He doesn't want to climb a ladder and do anything dangerous. But Logan Paul could possibly cost LA Knight. Who knows? Maybe the Bloodline get involved with Jey Uso. Who knows with the Wyatt Six? Maybe they get involved with Chad Gable. Melo, maybe Trick Williams is in town. Maybe Trick still wants to beat up Melo. Who knows? Andrade, he doesn't have any ops. So are we really going to let Andrade win the Money in the Bank briefcase so that way he can defend it on speed? No. That's why Drew McIntyre winning is going to be the best business decision. He's going to try to cash in, and then CM Punk's hatred ass is going to go in. I don't know how he's going to do it this time. Maybe dressed up as a cameraman. He asked for a cameraman shirt. He has everything ready. Who knows? But yeah, I think that would be the better option to do it. Like, Drew feels like the most obvious guy to win the briefcase and the most obvious guy to fail to cash in. That way, there's more hatred when these guys fight, even though there's already enough hatred. But fuck it, add more, add everything. It's like, why not at this point?
And it also makes Drew a hypocrite because he says he hates Money in the Bank. So
Yeah, exactly.
That's also why I want it to happen too. Robert, what about you? What did you think of the match, and what do you think happens on Saturday?
I think CM Punk was very clear in the post-show scrum after Clash of the Castle. He doesn't want anything good to happen to Drew McIntyre. I think he will make sure to be there to stop him from grabbing that briefcase. I agree with what Chase says, but I think Melo gets the briefcase because I think WWE wants to prove we're all in on these new kids. We're all in on Tiffany. We're all in on Melo.
I'm cool with Melo winning.
Yeah, winning. Like, this is the way to go, because everybody else, Andrade is exactly where he would have been if he was in AEW. I think we've realized, okay, this dude is just at that level, and it's a good level. He has great matches, but I don't see him going any higher up right now. Drew would be a great win, but again, I think Punk costs him. I don't see LA Knight winning it. I think that was last year was his moment. I don't think that's right now.
And Triple H likes to wait a year later for moments to cash in. He did
that is true.
This is true.
I'll say this: I would be very upset if it's LA Knight wins and he cashes in on the U.S. title, because let's not forget that garbage Austin Theory cash in established the precedent of I can cash in on whatever I want. That was terrible. Should be stricken from memory. It should be stricken from the record. But that would be the worst possible outcome. I'm gonna go Melo wins, and Melo eventually tries to cash in on Cody.
Yeah, I think if it's not Drew, I think Melo has a chance because he doesn't like he doesn't have anything else going on. And then my other option would probably be Chad Gable, because that feels like a proper signing bonus, because I thought the signing bonus was going to be the Intercontinental Championship, but Money in the Bank is much better signing bonus for good old Chad. So, but I have a good feeling that it's going to be the Wyatt 6 by just cutting off the lights, not even coming out. They just cut off the lights on Chad as he's climbing the Money in the Bank ladder. So there you have it. But that brings us to a close on this Rated Raw review. I want to thank my good brothers so much, but y'all know the deal in the chat. Give us your final call for super chat donations, but let us know your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP, whether you gave the show a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give the show? For all of us on screen, we'll put our thumbs in the middle for the July 1st, 2024 edition of Monday Night Raw. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up across, or slight thumbs up from Robert. Thumbs up across. Oh, thumbs up from all of us across the board. Robert, out of 10, what did you give the show?
I'll give it a solid 7. Good show.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I give it slightly higher. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Chase?
Yeah, 7 out of 10 as well. Very solid. If the openings were better for me, I would have probably done 7.5, 8. But carrying cross, like you said, in the first hour, not good.
Like I would say, this was the first time in a few weeks that the third hour felt like the best. Well, 2 weeks ago, the third hour was really good too, but this was another good where the third hour felt like the best hour. Everything from the Wyatt and the Wyatt 6 Uncle Howdy promo on was really good stuff. What was your match of the night, Chase?
Oh, easily the main event. Drew, Sheamus, Ilja.
Robert?
Yep, absolutely. They delivered, and Ilja looks great, and he didn't get pinned, so I think they did a lot of good business there.
I'm in agreement with you. Unanimous. The main event. That was a banger. Who was your MVP for the show, Robert?
Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is the MVP of Raw right now. She's running the show. She's a menace, and she's having a lot of fun doing it.
And she's looking good doing it. I gotta agree with you. Liv Morgan is a star right now. I felt like that last week and once again this week. So she's my MVP back-to-back weeks. Chase?
I spoiled it earlier. She's the MVP. It's Liv Morgan. Might as well.
We're all in agreement there. And LVP, Chase, who you got?
There's I think Dom's the LVP here in terms of a character sense. The guy, like, first of all, Damian Priest is now becoming like his dad. That's not fun for him. When your friends start acting like your parents, that's never fun. He didn't really get to hang out in the Judgment Day clubhouse to get chicken nuggets or play 2K24. He failed at making sure Liv didn't keep the title. His dad doesn't even want his help. His dad beat him up again. I just feel Dom's LVP.
That may be true, but Otis had 2 plates of food.
That's true.
That he was too sad to eat. All that food goes to waste.
That's otherwise, picking up on the Wyatt 6 real quick. Yeah, the Wyatt 6 came real quick to SP3's house. Thank God he forwarded him off.
Whew. No, Otis should have gotten to eat his food. Poor guy. I feel for Otis.
Absolutely, that is a tough show for Otis. I'm gonna go with Karrion Kross though. Karrion Kross. I'm sorry, he made me want to turn off the TV right there and there. But that brings us to a close on another Rated Raw review. I want to thank you guys so much. Had a bunch of fun talking about this show with y'all. Robert, I want to give the floor to you first. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media.
Yep, you can see it right there. Follow me at Dude Felice. Check out my work on Fightful.com. Check out MovieWeb.com. Check out my work on Smarkout Moment. Check out DudeFelice.com. If you don't get all that, that's a nice little hub for all things related to me. And I hope I get to come back here soon. This was a really fun time.
Absolutely, for sure. Chase?
Yeah, you guys can follow me on X at Chase Oliver 68, not at Chase for Liberty. That's the fake Chase Oliver. You don't want to support him. You want to support me. You guys can also check out Around the Point Network, youtube.com/AT Point Network. And you guys can follow my YouTube. I post shorts on there sometimes, chilling with Chase, where I just give random wrestling thoughts or just do a Triple H impression every once in a while, like Triple H at the gas station or something, or Conor McGregor doing something crazy. Those are things that I'll post on there from now on. So, yeah.
And you can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Yeah, I couldn't put you on. You were naked before. So.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey,
Look. realistically, this is how we all feel at the end of Raw.
You hurt your finger? Oh no!
Yes. I think because she had her finger in the door as she was like trying to get in and stuff like that. It's okay. I'm sorry. You go follow me at True Heel SP3. Follow the game Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Heel Heat. Patreon.com/True Heel Heat. $3 a month. Get you exclusive content and much more. But check out all the great content we got on the channel, like True Heel Heat 283 from this past Sunday. Check out our Forbidden Door review from yesterday. And I will be back here live 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time with our Money in the Bank preview with special guest Spencer Love of Love Wrestling, as well as Maggie of Fightful Overbooked. So join us live for that tomorrow. For Robert, for Chase, thank you all of you in the chat with those great super chat donations. This has been Rated Raw Review number 24, the luckiest girl in the world. We are signing off until next time.